Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for allowing me to moderate the keynote that celebrates the $1.3 trillion business of sports at the second annual SEICON event. Over 100 speakers and 500 attendees, and has solidified itself as one of the preeminent events in the country for thought leadership, if not the preeminent event. And one of the first important things to do is to bestow the second annual Mayor's Sports Legacy Award presented by the United States Conference of Mayors. We'll get into the details of that in a minute, but first would like to introduce my friend and the Mayor of Oklahoma City, Mr. David Holt. Sir.
Yeah. Hey, Rick. Hello,
Again.
everybody. Did I hear a thunder chant?
A thunder chant. I'm told not to stand up, but he's due ultimate respect. We'll get into the award itself. David was and is the 38th mayor of Oklahoma City, first elected in 18, with a landslide, get this, 78.5% of the vote. The largest win for a non-incumbent in the history of the world. It says decades, maybe even longer. The youngest mayor of a U.S. city with over 500,000 residents since 1923, and his first Native American Osage Nation to hold the office. Under his leadership, the city passed MAPS 4 in 2019, a $1.1 billion initiative funding for 18 major public projects, re-elected in February 2022 with nearly 60% of the vote, and in 25 he became president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. The term starts immediately, also spearheading efforts to secure a new arena that will keep the Oklahoma City Thunder in Oklahoma City until 2053, and softball events and canoe events for the 2028 Olympics. Important to know, and David Holt is the person that is driving that issue. Understanding the Mayor's Legacy Award, let me just give you some perspective. This is the first ticket for Major League Football, NFL in Miami. Cost $3.50, 1966. The industry has evolved to a $1 trillion industry, and just as the sports and entertainment industry has grown in the past decades, sports has power now to change the world, and this is true only if the city intentionally organizes itself to do so. Just as sports can change a city, city can also change sports. And in many ways, sports are a reflection of society. As sports has shifted economically, politically, technologically, even personally over time. Just as sports was a major factor in economic and social revival after the 20s, the Spanish flu epidemic in the 1920s, COVID has responded, the people have responded post-COVID to move the communities in a different direction. U.S. Conference of Mayors, significant history of supporting the sports industry through its awareness, thought leadership, and national vision. The Mayor Sports Legacy Award has been created to annually honor those communities and its leaders who deserve special attention. The criteria, simple, based on significant impact in 4 areas. First, long-term sports vision integrated with the city's identity and culture. Second, implementation plan that translates that vision into reality with resources, capital, and community and youth engagement. Third, inspirational collaboration between citizens, business, government, and social organizations. And fourth, longevity and legacy that extends beyond the mayor's term of office. You heard from the introduction of David Holt and the city of Oklahoma City. The city, David Holt, and the world of Oklahoma City is worthy based on all of those criteria. And to present the award and to say a few words, the executive director and the top official of the United States Conference of Mayors, Tom Cochran.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you very much. And thank you, Sean Castor, for bringing us, Garrity, for bringing us here for this As Humphrey Bogart said in Casablanca, this may be a beginning of a wonderful relationship. And so I'm so pleased to be here. I've known the honoree. I met him when he was 27 years old, working for the chief of staff. And I said, what have you done? He said, well, I worked for the Speaker of the House. I worked for the President of the United States. And now I've come home to Oklahoma City. And he was in the thick of changing the brand of Oklahoma City. Mayor Holt and others, other mayors, they didn't want it to be a place where you come to see the Murray Building bombing. And so he was in the thick of bringing thunder to Oklahoma City. Later became a senator, and then became mayor in 2018 with an overwhelming vote. He is the president of the United States Conference of Mayors. That's an organization I have served for a half century. And he is America's mayor for 1 year. Let me just say that on Saturday, June 21st, he was elected president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. But guess where he was the next day? He left. And so he didn't have the gavel, but he went to see his great team win the national championship. And we have never seen such a crowd. And I think, as President Trump said, it was the biggest crowd you've ever seen. And so I think they're still partying in Oklahoma City. He left without the gavel. In fact, we presented the gavel to a cardboard replica of him that day. But he exudes with exuberance the national and international world of sports and what it means to cities. As you may have heard, the Olympics are coming to Oklahoma City in 2028, and he will talk about that. So I'm very pleased on behalf of the United States Conference of Mayors, the staff here, and to present you the Sports Legacy Award of 2025.
Thank you. Well, that's very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Get a picture.
Well, here, I can pick it.
Are you gonna?
I'm going to tempt fate and take a picture.
And let's start right in. Mayor Holt, pretty damn successful couple of weeks, but successful tenure as well. Let's talk about generational legacy from all of you, starting with you. You've been involved in Oklahoma City since you grew up, the MAPS plan, et cetera. The proudest accomplishment, and how has MAPS been able to allow Oklahoma City to tell the story to the outside world?
Yeah, well, thank you, Rick, and thank you all for having me here. It's a pleasure to be with you, and thanks for the very kind award. Well, maybe we got a little time here, so I'm gonna tell the Oklahoma City story, especially relative to the way we have leveraged sports. And because you've alluded to MAPS, and I have no presumption that everybody in this room even knows what we're talking about. So MAPS is an acronym in Oklahoma City. It's a brand well known there that stands for Metropolitan Area Projects. And back in the 80s and early 90s, Oklahoma City was going through an economic depression. We were, stagnant in population growth, if not shrinking, and recognized finally that, if we really wanted to make some progress, we had to invest in our quality of life and entertainment and downtown and sports. And Rick actually was the lead consultant with our then mayor, Ron Norick, in hatching this brand of MAPS and wrapping together a bunch of different projects. And not all of them were sports. I mean, arts and a downtown library and a canal through our entertainment district. But there was the arena that just finished hosting the NBA Finals. There was a AAA baseball stadium downtown in our entertainment district. And it wasn't a sports initiative at the time, but it's worth noting because it evolved into one. Dams on our river, because we were sick of mowing it twice a year. So we just wanted to have some water. We thought that would be aesthetically pleasing. At the same time, separate from MAPS, our community had secured a presence in softball. Is actually the proceeds of the 1984 Olympics that had been distributed to governing bodies was the seed capital to build a softball stadium in Oklahoma City, which was at this point now the home of USA Softball. And we were sort of imagining ourselves as the softball capital of the world. So I say all that to say that from that point forward, in what was sort of just parts of strategies and investing in our city, really has become, to this point, as we sit here today, obviously a very comprehensive sports strategy that has taken a market that is still 42nd largest market. We're the 20th largest city, so that's how many people live in your city, limits. But when you take the suburbs, we're the 42nd largest market, which kind of makes us sort of on the bubble in the world of Major League Professional Sports, because all the leagues have 30 or 32 teams, and so 42nd is not going to cut it from a free market perspective. But we've leveraged sports to sort of pull ourselves up into that conversation and kind of punch above our weight. And obviously, the first step was getting some of the infrastructure in place, which we had to supply. No private sector interest was going to build all that stuff for us. So by having that arena, we were able to be in position when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans in 2005 to host the Hornets, now known as the Pelicans, but at the time the Hornets, for 2 years, and basically audition for the NBA. I've never seen a city before or since get an audition, but we got that opportunity. That set the stage for a group of our businessmen to go buy a team in Seattle, relocate them ultimately to Oklahoma City, and become the Thunder in 2008. That alone sort of changed our trajectory as a city, kind of elevating us into a different tier and a different conversation. Sort of that first team that you get from the MLB, NBA, or NFL, and maybe to a lesser extent NHL and MLS, that for a city is the closest thing we have in America to bestowing a blue ribbon on our top cities, and we finally had that blue ribbon. But simultaneously, we were seeing the growth of the Women's College World Series, which we had gotten when nobody else wanted it, but ESPN elevated it and turned it into this big event. And then what we had done with the river in MAPS 1 turned into a paddle sport community that we began to invest in through later iterations of MAPS. And ultimately we thought, well, let's really go in with it. Let's build a whitewater facility next to it, so we have all the paddle sport capabilities. And that turns into the opportunity to host 6 events and an entire sport in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, canoe slalom, because we have the only whitewater facility west of the Mississippi. That opens a conversation about, well, if we're going to do that, why don't we just go ahead and have softball in Oklahoma City as well? Because we've invested in, through public dollars now that have gone on top of the original 1984 dollars, now we have the best softball stadium and the biggest softball stadium in the world by 2.5 times. So now as we sit here, we've got, we have the Olympics coming, 7 events, 2 full sports, the only city outside of Southern California that has a full sport of the Olympics, and we have 2. We're the NBA champs. We've got the Women's College World Series park till at least 2035. We've made an investment. We've made a recommitment. We're building a new arena, which you'll see the design of a week from today, which is going to be an exciting rollout. $1 billion new arena funded through another public vote that got 71% in Oklahoma City 2 years ago. And that's going to secure the Thunder till at least 2053. So it's really turned into, I think, when you look at mid-sized cities using sports to kind of elevate yourselves, I just don't think there's anybody that has pioneered it better than Oklahoma City, and it's thrust us into a national and international conversation that we would never have been in if not for the power of sports.
This first topic of generational legacy, there's nobody better to carry the flag after other mayors have done this in Oklahoma City than David Holt. Clearly, as Tom Cochran alluded to, the chief of staff when the prior mayor of one of the prior mayors of Oklahoma City, Mick Cornett, was the president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors in 17, 18, 16, 17, somewhere around there, and will be a national advocate, seeing him operate at the national convention in Tampa 3 weeks ago, and listening to Mayor Holt's dispensing of advice to other mayors. It's clearly not gratuitous and it's not self-serving. It's what other mayors can hear about as they put together their own infrastructure partnerships all over the country. So it's a right time. U.S. Conference of Mayors, right time for him to receive the award, but obviously the right time to continue to tell the story. And as you said earlier, the fact that Thunder won the championship certainly didn't hurt, other than giving the day award to everybody on the Thunder and beyond. You have your work to do now in July and August, quite clearly.
He's alluding to, I announced the day for every single one of our 18 players on the roster. And today, by the way, happy Adam Flagler Day for those.
Adam Flag Day. Congratulations to Oklahoma City. Happy Adam Flag Day.